Horror is having a moment right now with the massive success of Obsession and Backrooms. People are calling for Indy Navarrete to be nominated for an Oscar, and both films have outperformed the latest Star Wars movie. Everyone is saying the future of Hollywood is horror, but many seem to forget that horror has always been the bedrock of cinema. Hi, welcome to the Positive Picture Show, where I talk about all there is to love about movies. Horror has often been cast as the lonely outsider of movie genres. With its dark themes, grotesqueries, and upsetting stories, many imagine horror as a fringe interest of only a few weirdos, like me. But this isn't really true. Since the early days of cinema, horror has been a constant. As genres rise and fall and franchises wax and wane, horror has steadily churned out some of the greatest triumphs of movie making. Today, I want to briefly outline what these triumphs are. Namely, how horror has been a breeding ground for profitable movies, original stories, iconic characters, new actors, and first-time directors. My first point is the least interesting, but arguably the most important. Movie making is a business, and without profit, the business collapses. Horror has been strategically dunking on the business for years. If you look at the most profitable films of all time, not the highest grossing, you'll see horror everywhere. Famously, The Blair Witch Project is the most profitable movie ever made, grossing more than 7,000 times its budget. Other films like Paranormal Activity, Night of the Living Dead, The Conjuring, Saw, Halloween, and even Obsession have all made it high on this list. This is mainly due to the small budgets. Horror has always understood that bigger budgets don't automatically equal better movies. If you keep the budget small, the return is almost guaranteed and the risk taken on unknowable elements is minimized. Because budgets are small, you can gamble on entirely new stories, characters, actors, and directors. Although Obsession is a play on the well-known Monkey Paw story, it still tells it in an entirely original way. Originality is the bread and butter of horror. Sure, just like all genres, there are tropes, farmed-out franchises, and uninspired retreads, but overall, it has been defined by originality, something that audiences are always begging for. Horror is also an expansive genre that can include everything from serial killers to home invaders, to poltergeists and demons, all the way to aliens and monsters. Because of the latitude horror has been given, it has the potential to create some truly incredible icons of cinema. The design potential for horror villains and creatures is basically limitless. Let's do an exercise. How many iconic characters from dramas can you name? Can you even name 5? Now do the same with horror movies. Even before I had seen any of the movies, I could name Chucky, Jason Voorhees, The Predator, Annabelle, Dracula, so many characters. Horror has the unfettered opportunity to craft characters that transcend genre and become cultural touchstones. I bet if you went to a department store right now, in the middle of the summer, you could still find at least one shirt with Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers on it. I'm sure you've even seen those posters that have like a million movie characters on them and they're like iconic characters from every decade. More than half of those are usually horror characters. Just as these characters go from horror icon to cultural touchstone, many actors have gone from bit parts in horror movies to A-list stardom. People are abuzz with praise for Indy's performance, and rightfully so. Her performance is the best I've seen in years. And they are claiming that she will be the next big thing, but this isn't the first time this has happened. I'm going to put up 4 pictures of A-listers. I want you to guess which one started in horror. As you probably guessed it, all 4 of them. Aniston starred in Leprechaun a year before she landed Rachel in Friends. Depp was in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and Bacon in the original Friday the 13th. Of course, most of you know Anya Taylor-Joy, who didn't just start her career with The Witch, but has consistently done horror movies across the years. Other actors who jump-started their careers in horror include Leonardo DiCaprio in Critters 3, Hilary Swank in the movie Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Bruce Campbell famously in the Evil Dead movies, and of course the Scream Queen herself, Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween. Odds are, if you could name a famous actor, they were in a horror movie in their 20s. And the same is true with directors. Kane Parsons, who directed Backrooms, has become famous for being 20 years old when he directed the movie. And Curry Barker, director of Obsession, is also in his 20s. These young men deserve all the lavish praise and success that they are getting, especially since they are in good company. The list of famous directors that started in horror is even more astounding than actors. Peter Jackson, who directed the absolutely perfect Lord of the Rings trilogy, started with Bad Taste and The Frighteners. Sam Raimi, the man behind the beloved Spider-Man trilogy, started with Evil Dead. Guillermo del Toro, David Lynch, Catherine Bigelow, James Gunn, Zack Snyder, Ridley Scott, and even, of course, the highest grossing director of all time, James Cameron, and perhaps the most iconic director ever, Steven Spielberg, all started in horror. Horror has always been a farm for great directors to cut their teeth on small budgets and original stories. In short, yes, horror is having a moment and it's great. Obsession and Backrooms are both well deserving of the praise. But let's not sleep on the genre as a whole as if this was a new thing. Horror has been turning in stellar innings decade after decade, creating profitable movies, original stories, iconic characters, great performances, and new directors like nobody's business. Some of the greatest movies I have ever seen have been horror. Some of the tightest scripts, most jaw-dropping performances, craziest designs, coolest sets, and captivating movie-watching experiences have been born in this wild, dark, grotesque, fun, original genre. The bedrock of cinema.
I'm your freaky Nikki.